Welcome to another episode of Feed the Trolls, and I thought, you know what, I'm on the Major, which is amazing. So the best thing I could do is get Kassad on my podcast halfway through so that I get cancelled and fired because of something outrageous he says today. There you go. That's the big plan, Kassad. Did you wake up in a good mood? Liquid won yesterday, so I mean you must be feeling quite good.
Listen, I'm always in a good mood, except maybe when Hooksy's playing, which is today, and he's playing against Liquid. But I did wake up in a good mood. I am ready for today's games to see who's going to be, out. Yeah. And finally we get some CS in the stage 3,
this is what people must understand about Kassad. He is a true believer in CS. He loves CS. He loves esports. And like me, he just has a really... You guys all tell us all the time to talk and share our feelings and emotions and to go to therapy. We're all using therapy. We're using this new chat GPT thing called Twitter. We post our thoughts on there. And these AI bots interact with us. And then we process our feelings. I think it's a totally healthy system. It's worked for me, Kassad. So it's working, mate.
AI bots, that's a good one. I like that.
What a healthy way to share your feelings.
You all told us to share. We're sharing what we feel and think.
Oh my God, there we go. So now, if anyone who has a problem with this, you are the problem.
Exactly.
You're the reason this has happened.
Stop trying to close us off emotionally. Let us be who we are.
There we go. Okay, so pretty much, when we're recording this, it is the final day of stage 2 just before the games kick off. And the topic today is basically what's been the topic throughout the major is the bits of disappointments that happen time and time again. I feel like because Kassad started with it, let's jump on to that conversation right off the get-go. I don't actually know if there will be a bit of disappointment because if they beat Liquid later today, probably not. But Astralis looks like to me, despite the victories, despite the fact that they now could potentially qualify for stage 3, a dead team walking, Kassad. I can't see this lineup sticking around. Even if they make stage 3, I just don't think that this lineup exists as it is after
Astralis?
the major.
Is this because of the statement yesterday of the CEO thing? And
I think that's just coincidental.
That's coincidental. I'm talking about what the team looked like on day 1 of the major, to be fair.
I mean, I was even going to say at this point, they just played, but they just didn't in the major bit. No one's going to hit.
The thing is, I didn't understand the statement. I was trying to connect the dots there because they said, December salary was late.
Basically, what they mean is they're just telling people you're not going to be paid for this month or something. Because it means that was the day they were supposed to be paid and the payment didn't come on that day. They're not actually meaning it's that late. It's just one day late. But I assume that means it's not coming today either. You know what I mean? Something like that.
What a shitty statement. Well, what is that? I
don't
even
understand. Who even knows?
Even in the weirdest possible moment. They're playing the 1-2 game and he comes out and says the most random thing ever.
So I wonder if they said that to try get ahead of their team play or their players potentially saying something to media. Because obviously you're at the major, you're doing interviews, you can mention that there is issues, that the vibes are not good, or you could turn around and say we have issues with the organization and we haven't been paid. You say that in the media, you've got no control over that, right? So as an organization, what I suppose the idea was to come forward with it first and say, okay, we actually haven't paid our staff and our players this month, but we're working on it.
To be fair, I don't actually think the Vice deserves to be paid anyway. He gets outfranked by fucking Hooksy now, so listen, he doesn't even have the added benefit of looking like Tom Cruise. There's still Tom Cruise for that. We've got surgery and stuff, mate. We've already got Tom Cruise. We don't need you.
No, I don't understand the salary thing. Is I still don't understand it. After you try to explain it, it's December 1st.
Yeah.
What salary are we talking about? The November one?
They mean
or the
payroll pays on December the 1st.
And no one's been paid.
Up front?
I assume, no, maybe it's for last month or something. I don't know. The problem with that, mate, is that they just said December salary, so that's the stupid part. I assume they mean to be paid in December didn't happen. Fucking
to Sam's point as well, are they afraid that somebody from Astralis will come out and say, we're gonna be paid, fuck you, you know? Like I did last October. But the thing is, people are not getting paid for several months, and then the other things happen as well. It just makes no sense. But the team itself, it does look dead, does it?
It looks dead to me.
They seem to be not, Magis, when he joined, he was I'm staying till the end of the year and then we'll see what happens. So that's one thing.
Well, the joke is he even magically got way better at this major, as if he's playing for hey, I'm still available, guys. If I could get it. Yeah. Magically, it does look like that almost, doesn't it? I know.
You have the ex-heroic duo, then it's I don't even know what's happening there. They seem to be not duo, but let's say Yabi is there, like he's not even present at all.
No.
Like it seems like he's absent, like a ghost at the PC as well. Like they don't seem like a team at all. The Hooks is out, like you said, out fragging Device. Like what's going on with Device? Not to mention the previous. I have a stomach pain. I need to take a shit before the game. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like what the fuck is happening with the team? And then on top of that, you have this salary thing, and Astralis being sold or not sold, or like. Of course, this team is like after this event, no matter what happens, even if they, I think, if they actually win the major, which is like 3 billion to
let me
1.
just strap it and get into that.
No. Like
that's
something crazy happens, like whatever, right? The best thing they can hope for is somebody buying that lineup straight up, and then Astralis going to like bankruptcy or whatever the fuck happens there, and they just continue as well. But that is like not 1 in a 3 billion. That's 1 in a 300 billion chance, right? There is no chance. Literally 0, whatever. Pick like a random number of zeros behind that, and then put a 1. But the thing is like,
well, a complicated way to say a really big number. It's very unlikely. I know. Whatever. It's all good. You got there in the end.
I mean, it's early in the morning for me. But the thing is like, Astralis is. Is it a disappointment? Like, did we expect more from this team?
I actually think they do slightly better than I expected. Like, look, I'll put a lot of the blame for the Aurora loss on Aurora, but I didn't expect Astralis could beat Aurora in the best of 3. Like, on paper, that shouldn't happen. I actually think low-key, I didn't think it'd go 0-3, but I thought they would already be like 1-3 by now, I don't think they're very good. Yeah. I mean, the biggest joke of all, mate, is just analytically, the only map they're really good on is Nuke, and I think they've lost it about like 3 times already or something. Like, so I don't even know what hope there is for them.
Duncan, there were times with that Nuke that they lost 13-0, 12-0 halves, like in a row.
Nuts in it, yeah.
I mean, they do, I suppose, in a way, the Counter-Strike gods have smiled upon them because they play Liquid today, who looks just as trash. So there actually is a chance that I'm saying, Astralis...
Yeah,
I say, Astralis has been disappointing. They make stage 3, which I think for them would be a huge success. I haven't had a chance to speak to the team, but I have enough time backstage where I can see them all together. They don't look happy. Like, they don't look like... I don't want to say they don't look like they want to be here. I think every player wants to be at the major, but there's definitely like... I hate saying this because it's such a cop-out, but the vibes are definitely off in that team.
You know when they claim, she means Astralis. You know when ESL does those funny skits? Oh, that's a great idea. I wonder who pioneered those. Anyway, don't worry about that. So you know when they do those hilarious skits where you sort of like point at the elephant in the room of what's going on, and what you I can tell you behind the scenes. Here's how you sell the player on it. You say to like Huxley or something like, "Look, obviously the fans think this, but by leaning into it, you show you're not hurt by it, so it's not totally true. But you acknowledge there's a little bit, and then in a way, you sort of humanize yourself." Here's the problem: some of those skits are actually too on the nose, and at this point in time, it's like I can't even believe the players star in them, because it would be like if Saturday Night Live just had the person who they were making fun of as themselves. Like that doesn't happen. You have like a comedian pretend to be that, because that skit ESL did, what was it, like 2 months ago, where Magisk is joining Astralis, and the gag is he comes to the Device and they're sort of like, "Hey Device, what's up?" And then the joke is he explains how the whole squad's just washed now and they're all just there for money or whatever, and that they're not good anymore and they don't even make the major and that. Like, that's too real, homie. Like, that only works as a gag if it's like just exaggerated, and it's like it's a tiny bit true, but it's not real. It's kind of is true. If you go watch that now after this major, you'll think it was almost like AI or something, because all the gags they make are just true. Like, because he does the thing where instead of Glaive, you've got Huxley, and then instead of like, fucking Prime Dupree, you've got like Yappy or something. That's too real, mate. What is the gag there? That's just right. That's just true. Like, it's only funny if it's sort of like, but we're just kidding, of course. It isn't though. Like, that video is too real, I'm telling you. It hurts to watch that now.
I just came up with an idea here, because obviously Glaive has announced he's going to be coaching. So Glaive to 100 Thieves, and then 100 Thieves we know needs a core.
Okay.
They pick up Astralis core. They take some of the Astralis players. Then they have the VRS
I assume they wanted a
rankings.
good core. That's the problem.
I mean, they got to take what they can get at this point, right? But there are good players. I mean, Astralis actually does. Oh, sorry, Kassad, don't hate me. Astralis has good players. Like the pieces are good. Most of them.
Which pieces are we talking
Put it
about?
this way, here's the biggest problem. I actually think their biggest problem can be summarized like this. The history of Danish Counter-Strike is the idea that like tactics in the system create a better squad than the individual players. Right? They don't have that. So once you go just to the players, Like, put it this way, if we were doing a draft right now where you have to take players like a fantasy draft, who the fuck would ever take an Astralis player in the first, like, I don't know, 30 names? Bro, you'd have to, I'm not kidding. I would take like half of Aurora before them. I'd take people, there's so many squads. I'd take people off like 3 Brazilian teams before them. Like, again, who are we picking off them? Because the problem was the Corp for like the last 2 years in Astralis was, at least he got device right. He was sort of doing that old man game where you just go down 2.5% every year, but you're still pretty good. He actually, that's the worst one to me, Sam. He is the bellwether. He looks absolutely washed.
I agree.
And he was one of my favorite players of all time, but he looks absolutely donezo and washed. It's really sad.
I don't know why he still plays. Like, I'll be honest, he doesn't look like he wants to be here. And obviously, like, I mean, we had the whole stomach bug thing. I made a joke when they had to play Aurora where I was like, do you think Device will play today? I don't know. I was like,
by the way, the
bug.
reason that's a legit take as well is it wasn't just a one-time thing. I think he had to miss something like 2 of the last something majors or major qualified. Like he's had like 2 times. I think it was each of the years he's had this issue come up. So it is a real one. It's also why, by the way, sadly, when people who are fans do that thing of like, why doesn't he just go to FaZe or something? It's like, mate, how could FaZe pick him up? Like, not only are the younger players that are as good, they don't have that debilitating issue, unfortunately. And if it was once in a blue moon, you'd go, well, everyone can get ill. But if it's going to happen every year, eventually you have to think, what do I do about this? Can I sign this person? It's a bit like it was true. People did do that with like people like Dexter when they couldn't get a visa. It's like, can we sign players that can't get visas? You have to ask that question, right?
Do you think Astralis can beat Liquid, kassad?
I mean, the bottom line in that matchup, it's a cripple fight. Pretty much like
he's referencing that lovable South Park episode we all it's a cultural reference.
That is your like
there you go.
That is your like cancellation of the day. But
we're going to get a walkie eye that just dobs over everything kassad says and goes like, it's a fight of 2 teams that are very underwhelming and don't have tactical depth. Like, but then it's just like
the truth is like it's 2 terrible teams right now. I don't know what the fuck is Liquid doing. I watched every single game that they played this major. Like, I watched them even before. The team is not good enough to win the Draculan or whatever the name is. Like, that's and now they got the chance.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and now they are like in a position to fight against Astralis for that, stage 3 spot.
Yeah.
They might win it because they have better pieces individually. I mean, like, when you think about the Legion, whatever, right? And then Nerds, and then they're going to end up in a stage 3, probably have some close games, end up 1-3, whatever. And they're going to think they did well. Like, that's the worst part. They're going to go, we are making progress. No, you're not. You just got lucky in the draw. You beat Tyloo, which the game you should have lost.
Yeah.
If the guy can
learn
some trigonometry and hit the fucking nade off the wall to bounce to the right. Like, that's the bottom line there. So they're going to end up in a stage 3 thinking like, we made some really good progress. Steve is gonna try to justify another year of budgeting for that shitty lineup that it is. Meanwhile, Astralis, that's a team that's like a dying dog of like 18-year-old dog that's dying.
I see where you're going.
Like, it was like a good dog, like gave you like nice time. The lifetime memories, you had fun, and now he's dying.
Yeah.
Just instead of like letting him die, you just keep prolonging its life with like life support and like all these things. He's gonna die anyway.
Take Astralis off life support. He's gonna die anyway. Is the title of the video.
He's gonna die anyway. There is no good pieces except one that I appreciate right now in this lineup, and that's Stair.
Yes.
As I say,
that's young. So maybe he hasn't been infected.
He's sharp. He's reliable. His positioning game is super good. He's always good for multi kills. His game is clean as fuck. So, and
the joke is take him around the things of anything. He actually could do something. He might be able to.
I would take him.
If anything, here's
100%.
the contrast that tells you how bad Liquid's situation is. Liquid actually on paper still has a good roster. It just doesn't do it in the server. Astralis on paper doesn't even have a good roster and isn't even that good in the server. And then the exact same fucking position at the World Championship. That's, if I'm Liquid, you answer that. Hit me with a million bootcamp stories, vibe. No, how are you in that situation with them? By the way, while people like Beta, like, see ya, we're off to the next round. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is nuts. So I think it's fucking mental. It's mad.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Also, I know what you mean, kassad. Probably the worst thing about the major now, I get that people are going to think we're being boomers and party poopers, is people think we're just hating when, like, people just like win the 3-0 in stage 1 or whatever. Bro, we're giving people like ticker tape parades for making it through the shitter stages of the majors. And then after that, we act like they've finished with semis or something. Like, the joke is, FlyQuest got one day where we treat them like they landed on the moon or something, mate. All they did is beat the bad field and then instantly get banged out. Like, what did they do?
Listen, FlyQuest played the Brazilian RMR.
Yeah, they did. They played
they did, actually.
South America
Yeah,
RMR. Yeah,
right.
true. America's, yeah.
And they finished up first. Great. And that's a South American RMR without Furia. So, like, the bad one. And they finished first.
Yeah.
They got 12-0 twice.
Yeah.
Or once or twice. But there was like 11-1 and 12-0 or something like that. Like, they were terrible. And people are like, oh, they're playing so good. It's like real Counter-Strike there. Like, it's not.
And here's the thing, I can at least forgive them because they're not supposed to be in the playoffs. Astralis, by the way, I don't think it's supposed to be in the playoffs either, but if you're Team Liquid, I'm sorry, my expectations are top 8, and then if you get your shit together, like if everyone plays great, maybe you can even do like a semis run. At this rate, you will be, like kassad, you'll be like 2-2 game in the next stage if you're lucky. That's if you're lucky. You probably need a nice draw in the BO1s.
The thing is, like, I always look at the team by the numbers, like they're getting paid, right?
Yeah, like
if
football,
you're getting,
of course.
If you're getting paid all that money, like, you are expected to deliver results. That's playoffs of the majors,
absolutely,
semis, and being.
I mean, if we're going to do it to Falcons, kassad, we're going to do it to everyone else as well. If we know
everybody else has the same treatment with the money, and Astralis was in like for years the best funded organization in Counter-Strike or in all of esports. And then all of a sudden, like, we are like praising them, like people that are praising them for being 2-2 in the stage 2, and like they missed like 6 majors in a row. Last event they won was like when 2019, same as Liquid.
Sure.
Like the Liquid last event they won, international land they won was IEM Chicago 2019. Yeah. I played on that event. How long was that? Like 6 years ago.
True.
And that's one of the most respectable, most well-funded organizations that with a great culture and a legacy behind them. 6 years for a trophy, and then you have Furia winning 4 in like 3 months.
Why do you think Liquid's not working though? Because this is, I mean, I think Thorin touched on it. For me coming into this, I was like, Liquid expectations need to be playoffs, regardless of how Ultimate's playing. I know that we can criticize him till the cows come home, but the other pieces should be good. But for some reason, I mean, I was watching some of their game against Talulos. I think I couldn't even freaking shoot at one point. So I was like, what the hell is happening here? Like, it doesn't look like it should. So I suppose, actually, first question, do you think Siuhy was overrated in MOUZ and maybe we got it all wrong because we gave him so much credit, but now seeing him in this lineup, maybe it wasn't him making the calls at MOUZ?
I don't think he's overrated. It takes a good IGL to get to the major finals. It takes a good IGL to take a team that's pretty much the CCT team, get to the major finals with Ime and JL and whoever was there. Right? Volt,
Belgian guy out there.
Volt, yeah. Like there's something that you need to have a certain quality to do that. You need to make those. It's not like the coach was making calls for him in that major, or like in MOUZ they did all right, but God knows we never knew what happened. So I think he is a good IGL. Is he good IGL for Liquid? That's a whole different question. Like, you need to be, good IGL for that team that to work. Like, he can still be good IGL and bad for the team that he is in. Like, simply more like Alexi in G2 or something like that, or NIP. Like, you can name more than a few, right? So, for him, for Liquid especially, the biggest problem is a short-term thinking. Like, they're thinking way too much, like, from the event to the event. Like, oh, if you do this and then we qualify, we maybe do this, and then all of a sudden the season is over, and you end up with the same problem that you had in the beginning of the season. Instead of sacrificing a full season, taking the criticism, taking whatever you need to do, and build something healthy that's going to last you for 3-4 years. Let's go back and examine their trades, like their purchases, like Skulls and Rainwaker and. Who else was there? Like, at some point they had Twist back as an IGL, Yekindar, who is now having a great season. Like, and then they had Zeus, and they let go of Zeus, and it's just all of that. There is no plan around it. It's just bringing whoever is like maybe good. All right, let's bring him. They don't really connect the dots with each other to have a proper, structure. Proper unit, proper team, whatever. They're just randomly bringing up players hoping they will work. The same thing happened with Ultimate. Ultimate, they brought him. He had a explosive 1-2 events. He turned into the worst opper in the top 50 teams. Like, the guy cannot.
The joke is he's better with the rifle. He's actually pretty decent with the rifle.
He is better with the rifle, yeah.
It's crazy. That's crazy. That reminds me of that time when Nikodos was one of those like
Same
players,
thing.
you know.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, the same skill as well. Like, they're similar. The guy, like, I watched Ultimate in the first game of Best of One, completely shit all over Liquid's defense on the CT side of Mirage against Bay. The guy constantly repeats. He misses the easy shots. And there is nothing going on that better that was like when he was brought in. Like, it seems to be that nobody's working with him. Like, nobody's telling him, listen, you need to work on this. Because if you tell him he's a human being with a brain. Like, if you tell him, like, listen, maybe this repeak is not good for you. Like, you see you dying here constantly to this like type of angles, these repeaks. When you get the flash, you peak. If you don't have a chance, let it go this time because we have lost that area. We can regain it like this. Just play with the team. Because even now, when they have a Liege and Nerds, they don't need a Monesi Opper. They need an Opper that's reliable. They don't need a superstar Opper to deliver crazy numbers. You just need to be not ultimate. And that's all.
I was going to say, though, with how the lineup is now, regardless of, I mean, they look terrible at the major, right? There's no doubt about that. But regardless of how it is now, they've got the coaching staff in now. They have really good pieces. Do you think just replacing Ultimate could be the difference maker?
My problem is this, right? If you look at it, another thing they did this year that I hate is they didn't just make a squad. They just one by one took pieces out. But that means you get like a false sense of how long the teams played together. So I'll give you an example. Siuhy joined just before that first PGL Bucharest, I think it was, like back in the first season. Remember, they just added him and they bombed it straight away. And then they had the all right Melbourne result. So that was first season before the major. Then they added Flashy as the coach before Cologne, so coming into the second season. So that means you had Siuhy, but he wasn't working with the coach he has now. Then you add in the coach, but then you had Elige like 2 months after that, which was like late September. So it's like, really, this lineup has existed since late September. So they've played like 2 months or something, and they've had basically like a couple of real lands and a bunch of those small shitty lands. Like, the problem is, though, because they've had Siuhy and then they've had, it feels like the roster's been playing all year, and you think, oh, what are these results? So I don't even know what the expectations are within the team. Like, I don't know if the idea was it's all going to peak at this major, or it's supposed to get, this person's supposed to be established by this point. Because one thing I'm sick of in CS is it's not Football Manager. You don't just drop a player in and he just performs at that exact rating. If anything, the one, I normally don't do this, but I do think Team Liquid has to ask very serious questions about the culture of the org. Because actually, Kassad, if you look since the time when they had the great lineup, mate, they have consistently recruited HLTV top 20 players. And with the exception of Twists and early Yekindar, they just don't play well, mate. They play worse than Liquid. That's why that fucking meme that Launders had of like your time in NIP doesn't count should literally count for Team Liquid too. Because the second people leave Team Liquid, they have a chance to just like return to health and just become a real player. So something culturally is going on in that team. It's like all your power gets fucking deflected down and you just, and collectively, they just don't work well together because most of the rosters on paper weren't terrible. They all had 2 or 3 players.
It comes down also to the what do you call it, like the authority structure there. Like, look at the coaching staff. Even now, they got Flashy, who was under Blade, fair enough, but you don't bring him into Liquid. You bring him into like teams like Gamer Legions and all that. That's where you like make your mark. Similar mistake Taz made.
Yep.
Going from a retired player for a very long time into a G2 coach. You mentioned Sam Glaive to 100 teams. That's the same mistake. You don't put a rookie coach into a team that's expecting titles on a regular basis.
Like, that's not confirmed, though. Hey, that was just me making a guess there.
He just means if we did it, though. I know what you mean, though.
It happened. Like,
we actually do need. We need to actually understand the lesson of sports here, which is it's actually really risky to take the guy who was the assistant of the super good coach. Normally, what you have to do is go, like Kassad said, to a lower team. By the way, sometimes you don't have to win. You just have to prove like you got some coaching skills. Then someone will take a gamble on you. Because really, right now, I sort of even said it to him on our episode. Like, we don't fucking know what you've done, Flashy. We just know you were stood there while Blade did all the genius shit. For all we know, you did half of it. But we'll never know until you prove it yourself. So right now, that's the thing I really don't get, Kassad. That's a serious point. I understand why they tried to recruit Zeus for the super team. That made sense because if you have all those players, pick someone who you think as a coach can live up to it. What I don't get is, for me on paper, this is a super team. Look, if you went 2 years ago, mate, and said I'm going to make a squad with like Naf, Nertz, Elise. By the way, please stop fucking playing with whatever you're fidgeting with your fingers. It's really annoying. I'm speaking to the viewers at this point in time. Whatever that fucking cat's cradle you're doing down there, fucking fidget spinner. I don't even know. Fucking tiny little blade you're carving against the map of Yugoslavia. I don't know what you're doing, mate. Don't worry about it. Pat it up your own way, Uncle Kassad's method, whatever. Listen, the point is, they have all these sick players, and then if I'm going to have those players, bro, at this point, it's not even breaking the bank to get the big coach. That's just how you make the team work. Like, you get the guy with the big personality. And then, by the way, the best part about the guy with the big personality is, you know how we just did that? What's fashion you? I can just fire the guy with the big personality. If it doesn't work for me, I give you all those star players. Get it fucking done. I want results. Here's your massive 50K salary a month, by the way. If it doesn't work, get the fuck out, next guy in. Because right now, we're doing this bullshit thing of like, but whose fault is it? Collectively, it's everyone's fault. Solve that one for you there.
Yes, yeah, crazy. It's crazy what they do. Like, even I think they gave the keys to the team to Twist at some point, and then he was like making his own decisions, which were terrible at best.
There's another thing as well. If you're going to have someone like a Twist and he gets to be the guy who makes the decisions, don't let him build a shit house and then go, this house is shit, I'm off. And then you just stay in the house. Like, man, you built the fucking team. Let him just shoot people in the head. Because now when he's left, he gets to be in face like, lol, look at them, they're shit. You helped with that. You weren't the one telling me to kick ultimate. You were fucking loving that shit. You were fine when I've been shit for ages, even though he's actually pretty good now. What are we doing here? What is this?
No, it's crazy. It is absolutely mental for me that like Liquid has fallen so much, even though that's a good org with a respectable army of fans, good funding, like crazy, like even like there are competent people working inside it. Like I spoke to Steve a million of times. He obviously made some mistakes in you know, drafting players and stuff, but he's not a stupid guy at all. Like he's not. He's been in this game for a very long time. I just think that they need somebody that will, you know, take the team and build something out of it with some authority, with some voice, with some, you know, something that people can respect, instead of like bringing. Who did they have as a coach? That the bitter guy. Like,
they had like a guy again, another
it's like a stand-in,
DeMar DeRozan or whatever he's called.
Like what the fuck is that? Yeah, the analyst guy.
Something like that.
And then the bottom. Obviously, the Liquid should not have been at the major at all. Like they had the one good event in Belgrade, which they reached the semis and they qualified for the stage 2. Which is nonsense for me. And they lost in the semis there, and that's the only one. They went to the Birch Cup, third Birch Cup. What the fuck is that?
I know.
They canceled the Philadelphia because they already qualified, which was a scumbag thing to do. Like, they were not supposed to be there at all. And now we are like, you know, talking about them like because we are expecting from Liquid as an org. If you put these 5 players into the team somewhere else with other name, people wouldn't expect this. But because they're in Liquid, they're getting paid so much, they're going to get the Falcons treatment.
I don't know if I agree with you, Kassad, because I think like Elige, Nertz, Siuhy, Nef, those are, for me, those are big names. Like I expect, you put them anywhere, I kind of expect them to deliver. I've always held Nertz in high regard. Though? I mean, stage 3 of the major minimum.
Okay, I mean, that's not very a high mountain to climb in this like sort of a system that we have for the majors. Because when you look at the stage 1, it's CCT. Like, it's just terrible.
It's true.
It's terrible. It's the only reason why people are watching it because it's called the major. That's all.
The joke I made, because by the way, the reason the major sucks now is because VRS actually works. So it's sorting all the good teams into the later stages. And so now you don't have random like top 5 team in the first stage. So that means as a result, first stage is CCT. Are you ready? This is the gag about Aurora. You know, Aurora couldn't get through this stage. It's basically the same field as that PGL Bucharest they just won. So stage 1 is CCT. Stage 2 is a PGL without the elite teams. Stage 3 is like a real fucking IEM, but the group stage. And then we have the playoffs. Like we've actually mastered it. We've done it. We've figured it out. We've got the sorting system. Wizarding hat from Hogwarts or whatever is putting everyone in the right fucking group. The problem now is we're exposing all the frauds, unfortunately. Now you can't make the excuse of like, oh, I didn't get through stage 2, but you know, I had to play bloody Vitality and a mouse. No, they're not there, mate. They're just waiting for you in the next stage. You don't ever get to play them if you're bum team.
There is no like, oh, lucky draw. Look at this. I went from Spirit to Vitality. I mean, who can win that? There is no thing like that. Now you're just bad if you lose. And that's
I kind of enjoy it though. Like it is entertaining. I mean, you mentioned them. I know that you did a whole video on this last night, Thorin, but I didn't watch it. I went to bed. So we're going to bring them up now.
Don't watch any of your videos either.
Yeah, there we go. So we're all good. I've been waiting to have a Feed the Trolls episode about this team, but we'll
Okay.
just bring it in now.
Oof, I
So
know.
Aurora obviously losing to Astralis yesterday, which I don't care which way you look at it. I don't care how much Kool-Aid you drink. It's just unacceptable.
Oh, it's terrible.
Like it's shocking. That, as we've said earlier, Astralis will disband. Like at the end of this, that team is falling apart. You shouldn't lose. You're Aurora. I mean, I know everyone kept going on about the PGL Bucharest trophy. I thought they looked pretty shaky in that
Oh,
final.
no crap.
Yeah, I didn't think they looked good. I think Legacy made
They
a
were
couple
even
of mistakes.
3-2 in that Swiss at that tournament. It's nuts. Like, the real problem with that team is, like, this is what I say in the video, we have a saying in English, it's called, you flatter to deceive. Like, you basically temporarily look really awesome. Like, wow, this could be, like, by the way, the ceiling for Aurora was to literally make the semi-final of this tournament. That was possible.
Yes.
There was a world where that, it's why I don't blame a single person. I did it myself. I couldn't remove them from the 3-0 when I was doing the pick'em, because a part of me knows there really is a day they roll out of the right side of the bed. They just
And they do it.
7 everyone and just walk to the next round. And you'd all feel like a moron if you didn't pick them 3-0. The joke now is, forget 3-0, surely everyone in the world had them going through. No one had them going out 1-3. That's not even plot. So it's almost insane. I always say this on my shows. For what a high ceiling they have, there's no good team has as low a floor. It's unbearable how low the floor of the team is.
It's Meyer. That's all.
Really?
That's
He
the
means
analogy.
Major. He means Major.
Yeah,
I don't know how
call
you
it
say
Meyer.
it. Yeah, just
Call it
so
Meyer,
people,
yeah.
just so people know. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy is the only reason this team has failed and failed and failed and failed. There is a big portion of people, fans of even non-Turkish fans, that are saying, and even messaged me privately about it, saying like, listen, you know, if it wasn't for him, this team wouldn't even like be together. He's the glue
Really?
that like
Okay.
hold. Yeah,
Okay.
massive, like
Didn't know it.
multiple messages. He's the glue that holds this team together. You see where they were, like they're showing me the lineup with Calix and Emor and like
right.
whoever. Like
Yeah.
you see, they were like top 50 back then, and then he
Right.
joined, and they're like top 5.
Right.
You know, the guy is the only reason why they're failing. The calling is worse than any of the top, and then you pick a number.
Yeah, true.
Of the rankings in the HLTV Valve or whatever you wanna look at. So he's overcomplicating things on the T side, like stuff that are super simple in the current meta, in the current game that is not CS:GO, that is CS2, that is a lot about timings, individualistic gameplay, swinging, especially swinging, and then playing off the opportunities and the gaps and like in the defaults and all this stuff. Like he's overcomplicating mid rounds. He's pulling them back. They're running back from long dust to go into B, and then there's like 7 people there. They're like swinging before the smokes. They're like not using proper utility or overusing it. He's like, the calling is terrible from the freeze time through the mid round to the end rounds, and that all goes down to him because he's the one making it in game, and the coach. I don't know the coach because he's like a whatever guy.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. But he's the guy, and then he goes after every event, after every single event, and does the same thing. He tweets about how sorry he is, and there's the last hope in our hearts, the last piece of like fire in our hearts is burning for you guys, and we're gonna make it work in the next event. I am once again sorry. We need your support. I love my family. I love Allah. I love this. I love that. And then there is the whole community. There is the whole community. Yeah, we feel for you. You do Meyer. You are the greatest. God is great. But it's just, it's crazy that he's not removed yet. Like this team has Santares, who is a great player.
But it's kassad, I'm not trolling. This is how you know I don't hate like Turkish people or the team. I even say in my video, if I actually had to rank like just raw firepower, bro, they might be like 3rd or 4th best in the entire world. I even said like raw firepower, they're not that far off like a Vitality, mate. Like they might even be at the same level. Like the problem is the rest of the game. The rest of the game's the problem.
Yes, that's a big part as well. Like the firepower is there. I have respect for the guys in their team, like for taking, for putting up with so much from Meyer. Like I wouldn't be able to do it. I would lose my mind. if somebody would call the way he calls when I have the opportunity to swing and take fights and kill people and like go together and like go faster, go slow, just play my own game there, right? And then he calls me back. He's like,
mate, I've got an angle for you. I've just realised. I never thought of this before. This is a hater angle I hadn't even concocted and workshopped. Here's why it's inexcusable that those players are fine with it, Kassad. If they'd only ever played in Space Soldiers and Woxic and Hellrit, then you could go, okay, maybe you just don't know what good IGLing is. Motherfucker, Woxic, you were in the team with Karrigan, where he used to take like bomb-ass Chris J and like 2-year-old Frozen and make the final all the tournaments and beat Astralis. By the way, Zantares, you were there when God B was there, mate. Like one of the OG legends, also technically Turkish, by the way, who knew how to call the fuck out of a game. You guys know what tactics are. There's no way you've just played FPL your whole career. Like, that's why I know what you mean. I'd never thought of it that angle, but it is kind of mad. There's seemingly never a mutiny with the players. Like, they're just, every event, the joke is, in the same way as he does that massive novel apology, he must just do that in the fucking locker room right after the game. Like, guys, I'm sorry for what happened here. Remember, I love you and love my family and I love fucking the sun shining and fucking bluebirds in the air. Fucking hell. It's mad. He must be the greatest salesman of all time. It's mad.
It's crazy.
And he flamed me one time on Twitter.
Yeah, you two are gonna...
Just everyone knows I'm bitter. It's all good.
You two are going to flame me for this, but I'm not going to lie. Like, out of all the players I have to deal with, he's probably one of the nicest ones to deal with.
He has to be. He has to do so. He has to get a win somewhere, Sam. He has to get someone to like him. He can't do it in the servers. He has to get trick you and think he's cool. And probably ask you some bullshit like, oh, from South Africa, that's interesting. He doesn't care.
He never says that, but...
No, look, this material there, write it down, mate.
Yes.
Oh, I love seeing women in esports. Ignore my whole cultural background. Yeah, it's brilliant. I think you should all be in charge of that. Again, don't come like I love you. Like you're my own family.
I've just worked a couple of media days, 100%. So I just appreciate the players that are easy to work with.
I don't care. You know? Simple would just walk in and fucking backhand you and go, fuck up my way, pee on. And I'd go, that's the goat right there. That's my goat. Fucking, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
But my actual question, what I wanted to follow this up with, though, is the issue not maybe that there isn't, and I mean, this is obviously a conversation that comes up. Most people don't really know Turkish Counter-Strike or whatever. I was like, is there an IGL that can replace him? I suppose that is, or are they sort of stuck with that? Is there a Turkish player that could step into that role or at least a player that speaks Turkish?
The problem is I don't even know who does IGL in Eternal Fire at the moment.
Yeah.
So part of the issue here, though, is, and I've seen this happen many times, this is the problem with having a national super team, is the other IGLs don't get those players, so we'll never know if they're any good. Like, if one of them had Woxic or one of them had Wicadia, then they'd have a chance to, like, show it maybe even head-to-head and maybe beat Alger and Wansantara. At the moment, he's got, I'm not even trolling, I think he has literally the 4 best Turkish players. Like, what's mad about their squad even is, I don't even think Jota should even be in some of those positions, Kassad. If you put him onto, like, Gamer Legion, they'd make him like a star, mate. Like, he's got really nice aim. But in this team, Wicadia and Jota, sometimes they do take the backseat. The mad thing is, the star aspect works. The talent works. Think of all the conversation about Team Liquid. This is like if all the players work, but only Siuhy sucked. Then it'd be easy to keep pointing the finger, you know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who you get with, because the question is, can it be worse than this?
Ooh, okay.
Like, whoever you get, it can be better, right? Only you can go up.
Also, I'll give you another angle from my video, Kassad, because I do a quick, like, scan of the Liquipedia. I'll tell you another thing that is really disturbing, and even I hadn't seen this. Look, I knew they were bad at the majors. Bro, they are just bad at all the prestige events. I think they just had, like, Katowice this year. They made the playoffs or something. That's it. That's, even the Colognes, they're doing, like, 17th place, mate, or they're just irrelevant in the last 2 years as well. All the majors they bomb, they basically had that one they made top 8, the first major in CS2, and then they had this one Katowice they made top 6. Aside from that, that's why I say it's also pressure is a massive aspect of this. It makes it all worse. Like, the only events they do go crazy in are, like, the semi-smaller ones, you know what I mean? Like, it is, like, whatever, the fucking Bet Boom or something like that, or a Pro League. They can get it going there, but, like, they just don't. There's a reason why it was that PGL Masters they did the run-in.
They got hyped up because they keep, like, but they won against Falcons, they won against Vitality, they won, and they ended up in this, like, situations where they have the chance to win the event.
Yes.
Right? People, and that's why people rate them so, and rate them high with the reason, because there are sharp players, 4 sharp, good players. Get a 5th player. We live in a world where the hybrid IGL is a thing. Like, Apex started it, now Hunter is doing it. Like, it can be done.
I've got an obvious rude thing to say. Again, why do I give these disclaimers? Like, I could just put that before everything I say, couldn't I? Right? Bearing in mind the way they're playing, why do you need to speak Turkish? You're not doing any fucking in-depth tactics. At this point, just speak English and I get any IGL you want. Like, you know what the joke is? If Siuhy is really good or bad, let's try. Give him this fucking squad and see what he does. Maybe like wins the major or something. At this point, I'm not even trolling. I don't know what aside from the whole cultural thing outside, and by the way, I won't get rude, but essentially a year ago on talking counter, Major just outright said he isn't super fluent in Turkish, by the way. So I don't even know how much of that is added to it.
Right.
As far as I know, you like grew up in France, etc. So I don't even know that that's so necessary. Like, this isn't like I'm saying to a Chinese team, like, kick out the IGL and get Glaive or something. Like, it's not even that implausible. If you look at how good the squad is, look, I've always said it to be mean, but if you just gave Carrigan these 4 players, mate, he'd probably win the major. What are you talking about? Like, they'd be mega.
They would be like
these players.
In a conversation to win the major, right? And also, like, a positive thing is like these Aurora players, they have all played international lineups.
Yeah.
So Taris in big, Voxic in mouse, Jota in that Sangal or whatever the name was, and then Vikedi, I don't know. I'm not sure about it.
Maybe not him, I'm not sure.
But still, like, he can speak English probably, most likely. Like, it's 2025. We are not living.
And if
in,
you've
like,
ever been to Turkey, most people can speak some English.
Yes,
Isn't that also like there's a bigger question here? Because if you want to play at the highest level and you want to be the best in the world, you can't sort of box yourself in by only being able to speak one language. You actually do need. Fury is such a good example of this, right? Because obviously when the change happened, we were all like, "Oh my god, they're not calling Portuguese. It's going to be a mess." Look how good it works out for them. Like at the end of the day, if you want to be the best in the world, speaking a second language is probably something you should actively be like working on.
And it's easy to learn as well. If somebody has a problem, let's say Vikedia, for example, has a problem, like there are the ways around it. You can teach a person to like speak English. It's not that difficult to get like a basic knowledge of English.
My joke is the only thing that scared Zantaras off is his first exposure was meeting Siuhy. But listen, mate, we're not all like that. He's a little chav. Some of us are reasonable. And I don't even know if he can speak English at this point, you know.
Yeah, the thing is like, and also get the international coach, get somebody who can elevate your game, elevate your players to the potential they have. Like right now, they're stuck at some level, and that's it. And I don't think anybody's working with them individually at all. Similar to Ultimate, I think that Faber guy is like working with Meyer, and they're like again fighting from the event to the event. I'm sorry, guys, we do better next time. Blah blah blah. And then nobody's like working with like BKD and why is he dying too much on like outside nuke or something, right? And how can he do that role a little bit better? Because nobody's thinking about it. And now they're focused on the next event. Now their season is over. They're probably going to make some changes. If not,
they have to make changes, right?
Yeah.
We say that,
surely.
I mean, it doesn't. Again, what's weird about this squad is you never even hear a rumor of someone might leave or might be a roster. They actually seem like, look, whenever I can say, imagine one skill he does have is obviously convincing people and selling them on the idea. Like he convinces the fans it'll be better next time. He convinces you he's a fucking nice guy, even though he's flaming Thorin, your great friend on Twitter, totally unsolicited.
I thought everyone flames you.
Yeah,
But if I had to not like everyone that flames you, I'd be very lonely at events.
Listen,
did you see the MPL guy saying about that?
Yeah, but that was funny because that was Pimp, not me.
Yeah.
It's okay if it's Pimp.
I've got a mad question for you, though. Here's a mad question, Kassad. Am I wiling when I say this? Because I know in some senses we do have more of a traditional sports thinking and background. I really do think, in general, when you have a good squad of players or like an established bunch of veterans, I will actually value people who haven't done that much, but they did do it back in the day, over people who are just like around now. So I'll give you an example. I would try and look for someone with some actual experience. Like, I'm not even trolling. People are going to think this has to be a joke when you think what team he coaches now. I would literally say things like, why do we have all these teams and we're just using random demo analysts as coaches? Why can someone like Peter not have a job?
Who?
Peter. He's an experienced person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he needs to have something like, you cannot like hire, let's say, a doctor who was like treating patients like in the 60s.
You think it's too long ago?
And haven't been around for the medicine for the 60 years, and he doesn't know like what's like new in the space, in the industry, what type of treatments that you have, like what can you use. If he updates himself, like he does, he patches himself into the 2025 and understands what are the needs of the players and the teams and what kind of game he's playing, then yeah, absolutely. But if he's gonna come back and like be the one guy from 2013, that's not gonna work. No players will respect that. Nobody was going to listen. And then you have the new generation of players. You know who Pita is, and then he was a coach of NIP when they won the one and only major in Cologne, 2014 or whatever it was. You know that. I know that because I was there. But Do you think that the donk knows
No,
that?
no. By the way, I think
Or-
here's what we're getting to a point that I was going to make though, which is when you think about it, right? There's a million people want to be coaches and study demos all day. Why is it that when we're having these conversations, we can't even think of coaches? I'll tell you the reason I think why, and I think this is Team Liquid's problem. If you think about some of the things we've just said, I think players in the modern day aren't coachable. I think this has happened in basketball and stuff. I think unless you have like all the rings, so they have to listen to you. I think essentially everyone's an assistant. Everyone's like just a support staff. No one's the coach. No one's telling these Team Liquid players, like Kassad said, like, what the fuck are you doing up like that in this massive game? Like, our jobs are on the line. They're just going, oh, you did miss a bit there. Remember what we talked about in the demo review? There's just like some weird gentle parenting approach to these teams. And I'm sorry, some of them, like we just said it about the Faber guy. We don't even consider him doing anything. Maybe we just put it all on Major. But at the end, because here's the problem I have with him is he either isn't coaching or they don't listen. Well, neither works. It's one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's gentle. It's like Western parenting. Like they do something wrong, and then you yell at the kids, because they did something bad, and then why are you yelling at me? And then you respond like, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like like what is in your heart? Like I don't give a fuck. You fucked up my fucking TV or floor. Shut the fuck up. You're punished. You go to your room. Like that's how you do it.
Okay.
But the things like, and I blame the organizations for it. Like I don't blame the coaches or the players. Players are kids. They're stupid. They don't respect anyone. Like I was a kid. Like I was like an idiot as well. Like know how kids are.
Do you think
how children are? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, okay, so I don't actually know the inner workings of an organization, but I also presume when you spend a shit ton of money on a player and you're paying them all this money and they come with a certain, there is a social value to having them in your jersey as well, coaches are suddenly a little bit less inclined to say, hey, listen, you played like shit, because they know that if that player bitches to the organization, the coach will go. Problem. And that's the issue, right? You give too much power to the players, and then and in any world, you need a coach that can tell everyone they're playing like shit and sort of give them a hard time. But you can't
because coach them.
Yeah, you can't, because you're gonna. If the star player gets upset, you're out of a job. That's like, but that's mental as well. That should never be happening.
To me, man. Like you have like team that's paid 30K a month, 20K, 10K, doesn't matter. Like a lots of thousands of dollars per month, which is costing the organizations hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, which is, somebody is actually investing in that organization and putting, that's whole the business side. And you have those players, and then you watch the game, right? You play a game, then you lost a game. You watch a game with a player or with a team as well. You see like seven missed smokes for Mirage connector. The average 2K ELO player knows that smoke to throw it 100 out of 100 times. You see like somebody over peaking after you specifically spent hours, trying to fix that. And then you go and try to fix that. And if you're not using the, how does that make you feel tone, then all of a sudden, like you said, he goes and bitches to his the CEO or whoever runs the org, manager or GM or whatever, and then you're out of job because this guy has 70K followers on Twitter, and then he has 7 Reddit posts per match, and he's popular. And then you get nowhere. When orgs start treating coaches and putting them in positions where they have actual authority over and power over the team, then we can talk about players being coachable. Right now, we're back to square one, like Duncan said at the beginning of the argument or the question. Players are not coachable but not because they're idiots. They're just kids. They just, like swinging, playing Counter-Strike till 6 a.m., waking up at 2 a.m., eating pizza and doing whatever the fuck they want, right? That's just the life, right, of the 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, right?
But I think it was Paravision. They did an interview and they were saying they have a nades coach, and apparently the players there are, every time they miss a nade in a game, they are fined. So they just take money off their salary. I mean, but I kind of like the idea of cool, we'll give you the tools. We're going to do these one-on-one sessions. You fuck up though, it's just going to come out of your salary.
I wouldn't find them. The thing is there is a specter of missed nades. What if you want to do a jump throw nade for window Mirage and somebody walks in front of you, blocks you, and then you miss a smoke? Right? So what if you get a flashed at the time you're supposed to get smoke and then you just miss it, or it's delayed or something? Then you have to arbitrage that, and you have to judge it, and is it the right way to find it? No. you just spend more time like practicing it. Just you need to minimize those mistakes. You don't ever get to like nullify them completely and just they're non-existent. Smokes will be missed. Like you as a coach and you as a player are responsible to minimize that to the very, very like small margin where you can just miss 1 or 2, and that's fine. That's fine. But if you miss 7, if you repeat 10 times, if you forget a strat 10 times, then it's a problem. Then you go and like, listen, if you don't fix this, I'm gonna give you a way to fix it. I'm gonna fix it with you. If you don't fix it, you're gone. You're not good enough.
By the way, this is why low key that we have very, very different perspectives, me and other people in the industry, on that infamous Falcons video last year where they all tell Boros that he's fucked up by doing the mouse thing. Because here's what people still don't seem to get, and I've never been able to phrase it this way. Right? Do you think Zonic and Lars Robel just came up with that strategy one day before? No, that was the shit they were doing in Vitality and Astralis before when they won majors. So what that shows is if I'd have asked fans, because obviously, again, me and Kassad's, our backgrounds and how old school we are as gamers, people are going to think it's just a cultural difference, right? We think you should be able to argue with people. If people do fuck up, you don't just go, oh, well, you address it right then. You get it out of the way now and you fix it now. And people are going to say, no, but there's a better method. Like that's toxic and abusive. And what I always say is then point me to the method that works. Tell me which method where you all sit in a circle and you're all really polite works. Because everyone would have said before the end of Astralis, because we didn't know what went on inside their org, they all looked really professional. You never heard the arguments. I just knew behind the scenes because I was friends with some of the players. It looked like they did that. It looked like they were the ultimate nice guy professionals who all just did their job, no arguments. What you actually found out was they had a private, very private, but very aggressive system for immediately getting everyone's grievances off their chests. The whole point of that Lars Robel thing, by the way, was the idea that if you're in the middle of a tournament, you're about to fuck up. Let's just all get in a circle and just get it off our chest. Like, what is bothering you? What went wrong in that game? Yeah, that's actually a brilliant concept, in my opinion, with the right group of people. Similarly, in this case, you can think what you like about Zonic, but clearly, actually, he doesn't just sit back and go, do whatever you want. He clearly has certain demands and certain standards he wants you to meet, etc. So one of the problems is, I do think that a lot of these teams, I would guess, if I had to guess, I would put a lot of money on the idea Team Liquid has always been the kumbaya, sit in a circle. Oh, like, oh don't you hurt my feelings? It's like, you're hurting the fucking team and my career perspective, motherfucker, you know. Yes. I don't know why
I don't care about your feeling. The thing is, like, it's all Zonic Boros thing, Duncan. Like, first of all, that video, like, the players attacking, Boros, I'm not a fan of that. Like, the thing is, like, why do you give a fuck if I fucking change my mouse or not? It's not your mouse. I'm not touching your mouse.
Is it not context? Isn't it context, Kassad? Because I think that we got a glimpse in time, but I mean,
to me, I read between the lines. It was never about the mouse. Look, there's two things. One, he was doing other things at that time.
Yeah,
but even
we all know that,
even if you ignore that, the proxy, the mouse thing wasn't real. If he'd dropped 30, do you think they'd go, stop changing the mouse? What they meant was, listen, mate, you're shit at the game. You don't know tactics. Your one job is you're a human aimbot and you're not fucking shooting people. So what I'm telling you is, if you don't do your one job, why are you here, basically? And that's actually a totally valid. Now, what they did in the scenario was, you can't really say that to him. That'd be mental to say. So you have to make it about, like, the mouse. Like, that becomes a proxy for all the problems with Boros is the mouse,
I agree 100%. That's true. But absolutely. But the thing is, like, what I was talking about, the other thing is, like, the fact that the players are, like, talking to him about the mouse. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not your fucking job to tell me that. As another, I don't want my players
I'm with you.
to talk to other players like that. Like, why are you changing? Shut the fuck up. Why do you care? Like, focus on you.
Yeah.
I can find 10 more mistakes that you made as well on that game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe focus on yourself and how you can be better in the next game, not how Boros can be better. But the second, the bad part is the Zonic allowing that obviously to happen, and then, like, talking in front of everybody that he's changing his mouse and criticizing him in front of everybody, and then he feels completely a fucking attacked under the fucking spotlight. That you walk with him, you sit with him. Hey, join me in my office tomorrow at 12.
Or you know what
you let him sleep on it.
Yeah,
sleep on it.
You don't film it and put it on a fucking vlog for everyone
he didn't
to see.
choose that part. That was the problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
who thought
idiots.
Who thought that was a good idea?
12 o'clock and let's have a conversation. He comes in all humble. Hey, Zonic, what's up? Hey. And then you tell him, listen, brother. Like, this is what happened. This is where you made. You're making mistakes. Like, we expect you to aim. You're at your greater strength. You're changing mouse. It's making you play bad. It's making
I'll give you a counterpoint.
It's just fucking.
I've got a counterpoint
common
for you.
sense.
You're gonna like this one.
Right,
go. Since now we're putting Zonic on fraud watch and he doesn't know how to coach, there's only one coach left in CS. He's called Blade, right? Do you know what Blade used to do when Simple was wrecking their young fucking academy player? Sit back and watch it. He used to just go, that's my superstar player there, absolutely destroying the morale of my young player, probably on fuck all money, who shouldn't even be here. He's just here because like we sold a player. And he used to just go, I'm going to allow this. And that's supposed to be the goat. And this is what I mean about coaching. Notice how what we've actually gotten to the point of at the very end of the whole episode is that apparently there are no good coaches. No one knows how to coach CS.
Goats in any sport, any division, whatever, coaches, players, they have flaws, even though they're goats. Like what Blade did is not good. Like he's still the goat, but that is the downside. He's not good. Doesn't mean he's a fraud. And any fraud watch, but that's a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
I did bad things. You did. Everybody did bad things. Whoever is a goat in anything, awesome. But look at Michael Jordan. He was a fucking degenerate gambler. Got his father killed.
By the way, since we're including ourselves, I'll even say the same thing. I've never pretended, by the way, I was awesome to work with at all events. I was great to all the people who were like my analysts and my colleagues. But I'll tell you what, if you keep, while I'm about to do like a major playoff match, doing like sound and static in my ears, I'll just fucking outright, I'll tear your ass up the second we go the camera off. And if you keep doing it during the segment while I'm trying to talk, have like a feedback of reverb in my ears, I'll just find a way to say it on the broadcast. I'll make it so your boss goes, what the fuck is he doing? Because in that scenario, you are fucking up my job in a performance industry, and I know what I need to succeed. So I'm sorry, I don't know the perfect way to sit and be zen and get past it all. If you can do it, you take my motherfucking job. Spoiler, I've seen the ones who do it, they have the same problems. So I do think, I know what you mean, Kassad, that unfortunately, none of us can be a 10 in every area. And in the performance industry, this is why I'm sorry, people might not like it, but I don't really care what your methods are as long as you get the results. At the moment, they have the best methods ever and they get none of the results. It's like, that doesn't work either, mate. If I had to choose between the two, I'd pick the one that was more flawed if it works,
I mean, Michael Jordan was a tyrant. As a player, as a teammate.
Absolutely.
Because of him, Scottie Pippen has 6 titles. Because of him, Dennis Rodman had 3 more titles. Luke fucking Longley has titles. Like, who are the fucking... You think any other of these people would have, like, NBA rings if there wasn't Michael Jordan just pushing them all the time? He was a fucking scumbag. That's why he was the best. Like, I understand some of it, but there is, like, also, where lines you don't cross as well, right? But you mentioned the talking to... Sam, you're a host. Like, and usually the producers... Like, they keep like saying 20 more seconds to the interview, 15 more seconds, 70, and then you are trying to keep the flow of the conversation and listen to what your analyst is saying, and then you need to have like a closing word before they send matches to live. And he was like, they said 3 seconds, 7 seconds, go, and you're just talking.
Exactly. I'd just be like, Jarvis, shut the fuck up, I've got this.
So the only issue I have, and I've only had this with 2 producers, I don't mind them talking in my ears like it's my job, right? And I can do that. My frustration is twice I've had producers where they've tried to tell me what to say. Ooh. So like, while the analyst is talking, they'll be like, now's a good time, ask him what he thinks about XXX and move it to the
You're the producer, I'm the host.
Or they do the question. So that's my favorite, where they're like, actually... They obviously, instead of just saying to me, Vito's ready, they'll like ask a question in my ear that they want me to ask the analyst. It's always a dog shit question. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, but that's only happened twice. But what does always make me laugh is obviously I have them in my ears all the time. And every so often, the analyst will say, I don't mind having production in my ear.
No, don't ever do it. By the way, I have always told every event, make it only in Richard's ears. Nothing for me, please.
My favorite is they go, I'll have production. And then I'm like, you probably shouldn't do that. No, it's fine. And then guaranteed on the show, at some point, they will freeze. The producer will be saying something and they'll stop, or they'll lose their train of thought. And it throws them off. Yeah. And then every time I just have a little grin to myself, because all I want to do is say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. But like,
never take anything that produce. It's just, I always like, if you can mute it, I mute it completely.
Of course.
Like, if there is a way to do it, just I don't want to hear it. Like they derail your thoughts.
It's also just not necessary. I always say
you look like you don't know what they're saying.
You're talking to the host anyway. They're going to tell me to stop talking. Like, the problem solved. Like, we've already got a system.
And all these people, they should adjust to you as a host or us as an analyst. Like, listen, they come before the show when it's a rehearsal, talk to you. Listen, how do you prefer the communication to goes between like us? Do you want like a little bit more me saying something, or just avoid it, or just tell you the crucial things if we are missing the timing or something? And that's where you have the fucking dynamic. Not just constantly in my ear, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, yeah, flying, yeah, going, fuck off.
It's a good sign. We got to wrap this up because I actually have to go to work today. But I mean, I think my final question, seeing as we were talking about teams that disappointed us, is who do you think's going to disappoint in stage 3?
Furia.
Oh
Furia.
no, kassad.
Furia, yeah. They're going to go as... The thing is, like, I spoke about this. They have been in a momentum, like a crazy momentum.
I know.
Won 3 out of 4 or 4 events in 3 months or whatever it was. Played, three best of 5s, beating Vitality, beating this and that, Falcos, whatever, right? They had a time off. People can adjust to them a little bit. Stage 3 of the major itself is a different vibe than any other events. Duncan, you know what I'm talking about. Sam, you know what I'm talking about. You have been a part of the major. You have been a part of the IEM. You have been a part of the smaller events. You know the vibe when you're walking in the venue. You know the vibe of the IEM. You know the vibe of the major. It's completely different. Completely different. Molodoy, that's his first time. That's going to be feeling that vibe against the teams like Vitality, teams like Spirit, teams like Falcons, with the players that have like so many majors behind them. And not to mention the other guys like G2s and Mouses and all these teams, right? So I'm not gonna put them in my pick'ems when I do it tomorrow. I'm not gonna put them in as a team that goes through. I'm gonna go that high.
I will say I do think the thing that's overrated is when people say they won 3 out of 4 events. What they ignore is, mate, they don't destroy people. They just win really close games. And the problem with that's a bit like on a lesser scale. That's why I don't still believe in Paravision. You're stealing all these games out of nowhere on the look. That's cool to be able to do. It means you have that in your back pocket. But that's not a strategy. You can't. That would be like it's like when people used to say about Zipnix, he plays the clutch role. There's no such thing as the clutch role. Like nobody's job is to win 1v3s. Like if you do that, it's just fucking found money, mate. That's a miracle. Like great, nice that you have that skill, but the team has to win off its own merits too. I know what you mean. I don't know that they don't go through. That might be too much for me, but I certainly don't think they win the major, for example.
I do think that kassad has a point though, because I'm a firm believer in prepping yourself for the big events, right? And this is like a sports mentality of how you rise, because you can't just win and be at the top all the time. There has to be like ebbs and flows. I think Blade understands this quite well. I worry that Furia peaked too soon. So they hit that top and they were winning those trophies, and now you come in with the rookie, and all of a sudden, like kassad said, the majors are a completely different beast, but now you're up here, you have to have your ebb and flow. You don't want to do the drop off now. And there is a chance, based on what we've seen, that this is where they start to drop off. We saw this with like in Shang, I would say we've seen it with G2, we've seen it with Vitality in the past, where like they come in so strong and everyone's hyping them up, and then they Navi, and then they have the drop. That is, I can't believe I'm saying this because it's fallen, but I do worry that Furia peaked at I'd say 2 events before they should have.
It's just like they have one advantage over the other top teams right now, and that's their map pool being really good. Like they have like Overpass, which is good for them. They have Train, which is good for them. They can handle themselves on Dust and Mirage, so they have options, which I do like, especially in the best of ones and in the tight situations where the teams like don't play Overpass so that well. They can have the advantage on that one. So that's the one thing going for them outside of obviously the momentum, which I don't think it's going on yet, but. Other than that, I see the teams just because of that vibe. I was a competitor at Major. I was in the playoffs. I was in dropping up in the stage 1, in stage 2. Like it's a completely different environment altogether. Like it's not the same like IEM Cologne or Katowice or anything else. It's completely different. And I think players feel it when they play. My players felt it. I felt it when I was a part of it. And it requires a little bit of experience, and it requires a little bit of timing and luck, and everything else needs to happen for you to win that major. It cannot just be pure on skill and the fact that you're a good team. It needs multiple aspects. I don't know. I personally think Fury is not going to be doing it, and they're going to be the disappointment, to answer your questions. Fine.
Duncan, you want to weigh in on a disappointment?
I mean, if we're just going off world rankings, I think number 4 in the world, Mouse, could easily bomb. I think they've almost been waiting to do that for a bunch of the tournaments. They keep sneaking through themselves on close games and one player saves. I could see them just bombing the stage.
I like it.
I like it. I like the fact that we didn't get cancelled this episode. kassad was actually really well behaved the whole way through. Nice job. Thank you so much. I get to keep my job at the major, and we'll get to see if both of you are right very soon. And we'll have another episode coming up when we have time to film.